Welcome to Right on Track, brought to you by the Publishing Club of Laguna Woods. I am your host, Dianna Bolen. Today's guest is writer, researcher, professor, adventurer, Howard Schneider. It's very exciting to have you here today, Howard. You have over 50 scientific publications.
Yes, that's true.
So what are they about?
Well, the first three were when I was working on a master's degree in organic chemistry, and that was just on synthesizing new molecules. Then I changed my entire track towards pharmacology, which is the application of chemistry to the human body, or to biology, basically, physiology. And I was not only a teacher, but also a researcher. And my area was neuropharmacology.
Oh, my goodness.
And so I had, like most academic people in the medical school level, I had a research lab with technicians and graduate students and postdoctoral fellows. And I had a research program.
Oh.
And it's that old publisher parish.
Yes, I understand it well.
So I was very active in that field and published a lot.
Yeah, it's very impressive because I've talked to other people on the show about publishing academically versus publishing, and scientifically versus publishing, like as in the publishing club. But you have transitioned to that, and in fact, you have your own publishing company, Spearpoint.
Yes. When I retired from the scientific world in roughly 2008, I had learned a lot about writing, but it was always technical writing. But I had this store of stories that I wanted to tell, and then I started writing short fiction.
So these stories were like in your head?
They were in my head. I think they started when I was just a young kid listening to the radio serials at night when I went to bed.
Ah, yes.
And that, I think, helped to develop a vivid imagination, which people have told me I have. And it made me want to kind of tell the same kind of stories I was listening to.
Well, not to give away anything in terms of an upcoming presentation that you're going to do, and I'll get to that later, is there a story behind the name Spearpoint?
Yes, Spearpoint Publications. It came to me through a discovery I made when I was very young and working at a ranch in central Arizona. I was hiking early one morning to a fishing spot. The road had been recently road graded, and sticking up out of the side berm was an old spear point.
Oh my.
And being a rock hound, we're always looking around at the ground to see what we can find. I saw it, and I've had it ever since, and it has meant a lot to me.
Oh, it sounds like it.
I thought it would make a great name for a club, for a publishing company.
Yes, yes, yes. And so what are the benefits of having your own publishing company?
Well, I did it with a partner, Mazetta Moon, and we wrote for only one reason and one reason only, just to tell our stories. We weren't interested in making a lot of money, therefore we didn't feel the need to go through regular publishers, nor did we think that our material was good enough to reach the publishing world, the reading world through real publishers. So he said, well, let's just do it ourselves.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we said, okay, it's that easy, Kindle publishing, KDP,
Yes.
makes it all possible.
Yes. So you publish through Kindle, is that what you're saying? Or
through Kindle, also through BookBaby and through Lulu.
Yeah, because these are these are hard copies. So somebody had to convert your text into actual physical copies.
Well, I did all of the formatting myself. I learned how to do it and submitted the final manuscripts to these do-it-yourself publish on demand organizations, and the rest is history.
Wow, very interesting. Now, some of the stories that are published in these books, you and others are going to be performing at the Old Prose later this month on Wednesday, June 25th at Clubhouse 7.
Yes.
Yes, and they're going to include works by Mazetta Moon.
Yes.
As well as reading a work of yours in the style of Shakespeare.
His first sonnet It's simply a short flash story. A flash story is usually less than 1,000 words or so, about Shakespeare when he was a young student, and wrote and performed his first sonnet.
Amazing. And then you're also going to do some rapping.
A rap song I wrote, Mr. Roosterman. It's my form of poetry.
That's what. Yeah. In fact, I was thinking about that because you also just recently were the MC for the Publishing Club's event, right?
Yes, Poetry and Jazz. It was our second one, and we do it annually. There were about 85 or 90 people that showed up for it, and we had 11 poets, a great jazz duo, a singer and a pianist, and we got a good feeling about it being successful.
Yes, it sounds like it. It sounds like it. So you are, based on my talking to you and based on reading your books, you're amazingly versatile and a risk taker. You want to share about your versatility? Like, were you born that way, or?
Well, I'm not sure why. I have a great curiosity. That's one of my driving characteristics. That's probably why I'm a scientist. Scientists are always looking to answer a question. So that's one aspect. I'm interested in a lot of things. In my career, I've traveled a lot, so I have experienced lots and lots of cultures. I grew up in a relatively poor neighborhood, so I met lots and lots of characters of great diversity and benefited from growing up with a brother and parents that were into adventure. They didn't hold me back in any way whatsoever.
Yes, because that's the other thing. You seem to be a risk taker. I mean, in fact, you also did woodworking in Portland.
I had a woodworking business, Green Bench. Yeah, it was custom woodworking, made furniture for people or bookshelves or whatever somebody wanted.
Self-taught?
Yes, although my father was a car mechanic and he had his shop in our backyard. So my brother and I grew up around tools because we had to clean the shop at the end of the day and clean the tools and put them back in the right order he liked because he was German, so they had to be in the right order. So I grew up with tools, and I just happened to like woodworking.
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing the number of things that you've done in your lifetime. And I believe successfully. I mean, 50 publications is nothing to sneeze at. And look at these books. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So the book that I'm most excited about is the book Against All Evil.
Yes.
I'll hold it up for the camera. And this book, it was just very fun to read. So this is what you call an old-time radio-style serial adventure.
Yes.
What can you tell our audience about that?
Well, it was drummed into my head as a kid listening to these serials when I went to bed at night that each episode had a cliffhanger at the end, and it really hooked you into hardly waiting for the next episode tomorrow, the next night. And it taught me brevity. You could say so much in a few words. Each of these early old serials were only 15 minutes. So you had to tell a whole lot of story. You had to have, the hero's journey, facing the challenge, overcoming it, having another challenge, having an ending that is satisfying yet still hooks you and makes you want to. So I think I just built that into my storytelling.
You sure did.
Yeah.
You sure did. It kept me reading, and so the vast part of this book is one story about Max and Lena.
Yes.
And they are, Max is a scientist.
Yes, a retired scientist.
Retired scientist, sounds familiar.
Right.
And Lena is his very wonderful wife in
Yes.
so many ways. I mean, that comes through in the book.
Yes. She is a retired CIA assassin.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Retired CIA assassin.
Yeah, so she has certain skills.
Which are important because the Max character has discovered a way to enhance strength and perception.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Cellular energy, which is revealed in greater strength, faster reactions, hearing better, seeing better, thinking better.
Yes. And so then the story goes on, and I won't give away all of it, but I think even if our readers heard the entire story, that still benefit from reading it themselves because it's so fun. And I think one of the things that came out in the book, and I'll mention others as we go on, but is like a mutual tenderness and respect and willingness to take on a challenge that occurred between Max and Lena. And I'm wondering if that was based on your own relationship with your wife, Leslie.
I would say it's based on my parents' relationship, as well as my relationship with my deceased wife, Leslie. Yes. My parents were extremely compatible, and they enjoyed each other, and they had a happy marriage. And my brother and I are still always grateful for the kind of life they allowed us to live in and then grew up in and then kind of acquired ourselves.
Yes.
And then I had the relationship with Leslie that was unbelievably wonderful.
Yes.
We never had an argument.
Wow.
In 52 years.
That's wonderful. That sure is wonderful.
Yeah, it was an amazing relationship.
And it was due to compatibility, not sitting on your resentments.
Absolute compatibility.
Yes.
It was one of those love at first sight things.
Yes, yeah, that's great. That is really great. And so this book has a great beginning, has fun plots, has good values, is inspiring, and the stories are feel good. I mean, they have humor and imagination, and they're not too heavy. You know, it's like a kind of an escape from life without being so far out there. I mean, obviously, people with superpowers.
Right, but their superpowers are imaginable.
Yes.
They're not, they can't fly.
Yes.
They can't become invisible, but they can react faster.
Yes.
So it was enough of an exaggeration to say, oh, wow, that's really cool. But, oh, that's ridiculous.
Yes.
You're not going to say
Yes. So did you give that thought to how much you wanted them to have, the degree of superpowerness?
Oh, yes. I wanted it to be based on this concept that's kind of out there of enhanced cellular energy. Like there's some secret mechanism going on that Max discovered that can double the amount of energy put out by the mitochondria or whatever.
Yes. And again, I mean, of course, I may be reading way too much into this, but I mean, you were a researcher in kind of biochemical cellular energy. And,
right, exactly.
And particularly the neurons. So, it kind of makes sense to use what you know without kind of being preachy about what you know.
I can use the right words.
Yes.
And make it sound kind of cool.
You did, yeah. And I like the cultural diversity in your stories too. I mean, because these were written some time ago, in 2008 or something.
Yes.
And where it wasn't that popular to be sensitive to differences among people. Yeah. I mean, so you had, first of all, the heroes are an elderly couple. Yay!
Yeah. Right.
With adopted daughters, an Indian and an African girl.
Yes.
Right? And then the African girl falls in love with a Mexican guy.
Yes.
And then they have those dogs that are a mixture of Chihuahua and Greyhound or something.
Yes. They're hybrid giant Chihuahuas.
Yeah, my greatest fear, really. Those Chihuahuas can be very intimidating.
I wanted the characteristic of snappy little Chihuahuas, but I wanted them to be big enough to be guard dogs.
Yeah, that was great. No, it is. It was not lost on me. And I'm looking for my, I photocopied it. Oh, here they are. A couple of things from the book. Because you used a description of foods that caught me.
Yes.
So, and I may mispronounce this, at the hacienda, a breakfast was created by Rana, and that's the Indian daughter. Sweet lassi, chapatis, and spicy Kerala-style deviled eggs drenched in squid and okra sauce.
Yes.
And I was reading that, and I was like, well, where did this come from? And you have a story behind that.
Well, I've traveled to India a lot. I've been there, a couple of dozen times. And one of my passions is cooking, especially Indian cuisine. So these are all dishes that I've either had or have read the recipes for.
Yes.
And Kerala is the southernmost state of India and has its own cuisine, and that reflects it. That's amazing.
And these kinds of things, again, for people who are writers, you can use your own experiences to enhance your stories. And I think that that's particularly important when it adds a richness to the storyline. I mean, she could have cooked eggs and bacon,
Rana would never do that.
Yeah. In fact, the other thing you told me early on was that you really like your female characters.
Very much so. A lot of my characters are females, even in my short stories. My first flash story was Einstein the dog, which is an elderly woman who saves the day with her smart poodle. I like allowing my women characters to go a little bit beyond what's expected from women, to have a little extra here and there. And more resolve, more character, deeper character, whatever.
Yes, that it's more than simply a good housemaker.
Oh yeah, how boring that would be.
Yes, exactly. Well, and speaking, this was a different character from a different book, was Undercover Agent.
Yes.
And this character is 34 and homeless. And I'll just read a little bit of this. But despite the hardships she'd faced, she was not even close to giving up her quest for a better life. An indomitable kernel of optimism miraculously persisted deep within her. Like many others in her predicament, she was a survivor. But she was more than that. She was determined, a fighter as well. She knew she would eventually make a life for herself beyond just getting by on a miserly monthly disability check, panhandling for chump change and collecting bottles and cans when she got down to her last few bucks. She sought that elusive goal every single day. Never a moment, even in the darkest of times when others like her would have succumbed to despair, did she doubt that she would eventually reach her goal. I mean, what a setup for the beginning of a story.
Oh, is that a hook, do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a hook. I think it's a very good hook, and I think it's another strong female character.
Oh, yes, she was, yes. Carla Hammer is tough. So. Well, I think it proves the value of a good hook, too.
Yes.
The writer has to, I think, get the reader's attention in the first couple of paragraphs, if possible. Yes, I agree. And you've done that. And I wanted to kind of jump back again to Against All Evil, because the other thing that I found fascinating was not only, it was kind of your humor, but it's subtle humor, because
the bad guys in this book are...
They're really bad, aren't they?
Yeah, they're really bad.
They're really bad, yeah, right.
And the order of appearance was, first we had the Russian mafia from Portland. Then we had the Al-Qaeda operatives from Yemen.
Yes.
Then the Syrian Secret Service.
Ah, yes.
Then the Mexican drug cartel.
Yeah.
Then the Chinese General Dong and his Black Dragon team. Then the North Koreans with Lieutenant Kim and his Black Shadow team.
Yes.
And finally, to be all-inclusive, the bad actors in the U.S. government.
Ah, the worst.
I know. And our superhumans were able to fight them all one at a time, or
of course.
in two at a time in some instances.
Oh, yeah. If they couldn't have fought them, I wouldn't have had a book.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's right. But it's just, again, so fun, so fun. So I started to wonder, though, is there anything about any of these other books? Like you said, I should also read, was it, what, Survival?
Ah, yes, Survival. That is a collection mostly of flash stories, but the lead story is another episodic adventure set in the year 2084 after nuclear devastation. And there are two populations surviving that I write about on the northwest coast of the United States, Canada, approaching Alaska. The indigenous people and the surviving whites, I guess you could call them.
Yeah.
And how they interact and how the indigenous people's lifestyle that they historically had allowed them to survive at a great level, whereas the others did not so well.
Yes.
And then how the integration came, and the adventure of one woman who managed to leave her world existence among the surviving whites and joined the indigenous population under great stress and need to be strong. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And again, so many factors going into the story.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Futuristic, strong woman, multicultural.
Yes.
Yes, because that's life. I mean, we're not just in our little white bubbles.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
Yeah. All right.
Hopefully not. Yeah. Well, with all these stories, and many of them short stories, I started to wonder about serializing your fiction. And I did a quick check about what exactly that was. And do you want to kind of tell the audience what you know, and I'll chime in, or?
Well, what I know about myself is that I like to write this kind of material, and I still have others that I can create, but I also like to read it. I like to perform it. I feel, based on the old radio programs, that your writing can also be performance art.
Yes.
As well. And I wouldn't mind thinking where I could take this work in that direction. It's just that I've had so many other distractions lately with my wife's illness and in moving here. And, but I can see in the future maybe going in that direction with the help of others. I don't know enough about social media, because I presume the social media part is a big part of this.
I don't know, but I have learned in my own career that you can, within reason, find somebody who knows what you don't know. But whether it be social media, or like I just saw the phenomenal website that the Publishing Club has now. And I'm going to reach out to the woman who did that website and see if I can get her assistance.
Yeah, Gay, she did a wonderful job.
She did a phenomenal job. So it's the website's exciting. I was like, wow.
Right. Maybe I could get Gay to help me.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yes, who knows? So the other things about serializing, so what you do is you'd release like one chapter, for example, of Against All Evil once a week. It's already written, so no big deal. 2 platforms that are very good for that are, again, Kindle. It's called Vella, V-E-L-L-A, or Watt, like bright lights, Wattpad. So both of those, what they do is they would put your chapters, the first 3 are free to your audience, to any audience that has subscribed to this service, which is free. And then after that, you can sell the chapters for like 99 cents a piece.
Oh, I see.
And then you can, and you get a percentage of the sales, which is just like Kindle. And it's usually pieces that are between 600 and 5,000 words. And put them on every week. And the other thing is then readers get familiar with you. And, they almost, it's repetition. People, it's like, unfortunately, you see somebody's face a lot and you think you know them. So it's kind of like you see your same, you read your stories and you feel like, oh, I know this guy, Schneider.
Well, would I have to have other actors, in a sense, read the different parts, or?
I think you could
read them all.
Yeah, read them all, like books on tape, or that very old concept now. But
right.
Yeah, so you could do that, and so you have this rapport, and then if you chose to write another book, and you were interested in going to a publisher, if you had a big following from your serialized things. Even if you weren't making a lot of money on those, you could then use that as a selling point to the publisher.
Interesting.
Yes.
Well, one thing I've thought about, which is maybe beyond reality, is these would make great movies.
Yes. And I forgot to mention, because Wattpad has a studio.
Oh.
So they would, if they liked your book, your story, would make it into a movie.
Oh, you're getting me all excited.
Yeah, well, that's the idea, yes. Because I know you haven't written for a while,
No, I haven't.
This might be a way to get started. And even, the other thing is, if you're able to discipline yourself to write weekly, to put something out there, and again, 600 words is not a whole lot of writing.
No, it's not.
That might even help you as a writer. You don't need it so much, but I think other people in our audience may be looking to start as writers. That habit is really good to become a writer, in your own right.
Do you think that if this were to be serialized, like you're talking about, it would have to be re-scripted?
Well, like this one doesn't need to be.
You just read it as it is.
Yes,
story.
I would just read it as is. And in fact, I know we're doing something for the old pros, and we're just, most of us, I think, are just reading
what I wrote.
What you wrote, maybe with a few changes here or there, but to make it sound more accessible or interesting. But so I think that's something you can do.
Wow, you're inspiring.
I'm glad. I'm glad. I think we can all inspire one another, and that's part of what it's about, isn't it?
Actually, it is.
Yes, it is.
I love editing, and I've helped a lot of people in their writing simply just by doing something that most people hate, is just line editing. I don't edit people's overall story. I wouldn't presume to be able to do that.
Yes.
But I can tell them if their word order is wrong.
Yes, that's very helpful. That's very helpful. Well, believe it or not, this concludes another episode of Right on Track, brought to you by the Publishing Club of Laguna Woods. You can see this show right here on TV6 Mondays at 10:30 a.m. and Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. Thanks to our guest, Howard Schneider, and to the staff here at TV6. May you follow your dreams with passion, persistence, and faith. See you again soon. Thank you.